go into iFound settings, scroll down to where it says campaign criteria, and then click that. And you're going to land on your screen. If you're following along, you're going to land on it looking like this, or you're going to land on it looking like that. So if you're looking at it that way, you just want to change your resolution a little bit on your screen. And on a Mac, it is Command minus. And if you're on a PC, it's Control minus. Okay. So over here are all the options from Armless that we can let you guys put on your website on this side. Over here, this is your main criteria and your additional criteria that is in your campaign builder, hence why we called this the campaign builder criteria. I recommend if you're gonna take on the strategy of working with homeowners, that you put listing status first. So all you got to do is click and drag it and drop it where you want it. And I recommend you put listing status first, days back closed second, subdivision third, in some order thereof. I don't use subdivision all that often. Sometimes I do, but I always use listing status and days back closed in the homeowner searches I do. So once you've got those, then to save that, you would come down here and hit save criteria. Now, if you see something that you don't have, or if you want something like interior levels, that may be over here in alphabetical order and you want to grab it and drop it over here. Okay, so take notes on where to come to adjust this campaign criteria, and you can come back to this later. But at the very least, get listing status, days back closed, and subdivision as your first three choices. Okay, and then again, scroll down and hit save criteria. Questions?
Yeah, sorry. Can I ask you, why do you have so many more in the blue?
Because there's just more room in the, this is built for only about 10 to 12, like the size that we have it built for.
Right.
And then the rest are just additional criteria, because I don't get into cooling too often, so I don't need it in my main field of view.
Well, I'm just saying your blue options are like triple my blue options.
Yep, because I've had many more classes and training demos where I've moved stuff in and out. Okay. So I just have mine full, more full than yours. Don't make it mean anything. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You're welcome. Okay, next, I want you to go to agent info. And that's a good question that Lalania brought. I think that was Lalania that she brought up. I have a whole lot of stuff over here that you guys don't have. So you guys won't have not most of it, but you won't have a lot of the stuff I have, because I'm a super admin to our whole network. So I see a lot more things from my login than you guys do. So don't let it bother you or confuse you that I have stuff that you guys don't, because I just do.
Dale, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
What were all those criteria for? Are those the criteria that we're going to select when we set up their subdivision, or is that criteria that buyers can search for, or what does that represent, all those criteria? What's it for?
Those were for you working inside the campaign builder, which is you selecting.
So when we're setting up our person, those are the criteria we get to choose from when we're identifying the search that we want to go to them.
Correct.
Okay, so we're not going to need the finest detail of everything. We're not going to need all that.
Correct.
Okay.
Now, if you think about how I've been talking about the system, I've been very heavily biased towards homeowners. And homeowners get one real simple search: active, sold, pending, going back X amount of days in their neighborhood. That's it. That's all you're sending homeowners.
Yeah.
Unless that homeowner jumps to the other side and becomes a buyer.
Hmm.
Then you're setting up a buyer search, which is completely different.
Okay.
And you guys, that's where you're getting into the double grab master bathroom shower with the RV gate and the pool, in Sun City Grand or whatever. That's where you're, and with the Rose model or whatever, you're getting into different types of searches on the buy side. So I'm not talking, I'm very specific with, hey, we're competing with Zillow and we're building the homeowner database basically on today's call. Okay. And our system can be used with buyers. And I'll say it, we've had people just stop using the MLS altogether. And they're using this system for probably 98% of all the things they ever do.
Wow.
They're using the website. Okay. So I'm never going to tell you to stop using MLS for buyers. I won't ever tell you to stop because it's too easy. You're good at it. It goes with showing time. There's stuff that's in there that we don't have access to as a website IDX company, but as a pure search tool, it's good. It works. So getting back to the agent info, just kind of scroll down and make sure this top section's filled out as best you can for your stuff. So name, if you're in a team name, dropping down through, make sure your agent ID is correct. It should be. And then that's about as far down as you need to go.
Can I ask you a question? It's Lalane.
Yes. Yeah.
So the broker logo that's uploaded is a standard logo, but not of the division that I'm part of. Can I change that, or is this attached to something else and I'm going to upset the apple cart?
What you should do is send a note to support at iFoundAgent and say, please swap my logo for this logo.
Okay.
And then we'll knock it out in about 2 minutes, and it, if that long. It doesn't take us long to swap, and that's part of the support that you pay us for.
Okay.
Yeah, don't just send it and say, hey, can you swap my logo for this one?
Okay, thank you.
Good question. Okay. So once you've gone through iFound settings, agent info, I want you to slide down to lead manager settings. And in here, same thing, just kind of go down, make sure your name's here, your email address is here, and your header, footer, signature should all say default header, footer, signature. Unless you've changed the name of it, and then it'll probably show the name of what you changed it to. I know Jeanette Doherty, if she's still on the call, she changed the name of her header. So hers would not say default header, it would share the name of the header, okay? I have a text signature in here for me that I was fiddling around with, but I use the default signature. And then save search notification. These should really line up pretty close. I have this one, instant update, new listing notification. I have this one, I changed to new home for sale near you. I changed the name, that's why mine says that. But yours probably just says instant update. And then if your campaign post category doesn't say, if you open it up and it says uncategorized, or if it says uncategorized or featured, change it to real estate, please. And then you should be the post author, or should reflect your username. And next thing down, report email. Your system is capable of sending you a report every day of the last activity on your website with your customers. So it's not just your website, sorry, it's your last activity associated with anybody that's a contact in your site. Whether you sent them an email or they clicked the link, it's going to show an aggregate of all of that activity. So you can pick the time of day that you want that sent to you. And then I have 30, so my system sends me about 30. So the last 30 actions. And then you want to make sure that this enable instant activity emails, make sure that's checked. And then enable instant admin updates or instant update admin notifications. I recommend don't checking that, or at least know to check. If you check it, know to uncheck it, because what this sends you is all of the instant updates that your customers get. So you're going to get a notice of every house that goes out on an instant update. And if you've got, 200 customers getting instant updates, you may get, I don't know, 20, 30 emails a day that are listing updates, and we send you that information in another way. So I don't recommend you check that. And then click Save Changes. Okay, next, go into Lead Manager email templates. And the first one I want you to look at is what's called the default signature. And when you land in default signature, you're going to get something that either looks like mine because you've already been to class, or yours might say respectfully agent name, mobile phone, and curly brackets. So yours might say a very short version of this. My recommendation is if you're in what's called the visual tab, that you just type out, get rid of the curly brackets, and you just type out what your signature is. A brief version of that. There are ways to get this more refined. I don't have a lot of time on this particular call to do that. I do cover that a lot on Tuesdays. One thing I will tell you is if you're trying to single space, you have to hold your shift key when you hit enter, and it'll give you a single space. If you don't do that, you're going to get a double space, and it's going to drive you nuts trying to figure out how to get a single space. So it drove me nuts. So it's single space enter, and it gives you the single space. Okay. So if you have to fiddle with this a little bit, take notes and come back to it. I'm not going to spend any time, and I'm not going to go into putting in a photo at this point. Normally I do, but because of what we talked about early, I'm not going to cover that with this. But if you come back tomorrow morning for the 9 a.m. class for WordPress, I'll show you how to do this in WordPress, and you'll be able to do it in your signature. Okay, once that's done, here on the right side, you're going to see update template, and all you do is click it. This little spinner goes, and when that's done spinning, it's updated, and you've now changed your signature. Once that's complete, go back to email templates, and I want you to go down to where it says market update homeowner, and mouse over that, and you'll get an edit link. Click that one. And in here, you're gonna, if you have been to my class, you may have already edited this. And if you haven't been to my class, yours probably says, hi, here's your neighborhood market update. And then it shows the alert link, and that's probably all the content you have. So I am actually going to copy my content in to the chat box. So if you want the chat, or if you want this, actually, I'm only going to put this piece in the essence of time. So I'm going to put this into the chat box for you guys to grab if you want it. It's just a starting point. Okay. So the text that I use here's your neighborhood monthly update. So I'm telling them what it is. So this goes back 90 days. Typically, I teach 90 days. So here's what I'm sending you. Here's how to view it. And then I'm telling them what to expect in the future. So there's no surprises to them. Because you can send this out of the blue. And we're not seeing much in the world of unsubscribes. So if you tell them what it is, sold homes go back 90 days. Now, if we're doing something that goes back longer than that, I'll change that in the demo that I'm going to do. But on average, 90 days worked pretty good for most of the subdivisions and neighborhood searches I've done over the last 3-4 years. And at times up with appraisals, and it's quarterly. So there's lots of reasons why I pick 90 days and we teach that. So just copy and paste this. What you want at the end of the day, by the time we're done with this class, you want yours to kind of look like this as a starter. You can add more later on, but for now, you want to make sure you have the curly bracket here, and you want to make sure you have a curly bracket here that says alert link. Okay? If you take this alert link out, the system won't do what you wanted it to do. Okay, before we move on from here, I want you to go up to the email subject and put your mouse in there and go out to the end. Yours probably stops at the word update. And I recommend you put in from your name, so that when they see the email subject, they may see your email address, not recognize it, but they see your name in the subject that goes to them, and they're less likely to delete it. Okay, update template. And we're ready to go build a campaign. Any questions?
Dale, this
Yep.
is Jeanette.
Hello?
I like the below it says alert link on your page. It says to access this update anytime, please log into your account. How do I do that? Is that on another day?
It's on another day. The reason why I'm not showing it is I actually could put it in this way. So I'll put this into the chat box. But I'm taking it out of what's called the text view. So if I go back to virtual, notice it's a link here.
Right.
But when I go to text, it gives me the code behind the text. So if you're going to take what I just put in there, what you have to do is copy what I just put in, flip over to text, paste it in after alert link, and then change the web address to your web address.
Okay, got it. I think.
Well,
try
that's
it.
why I didn't want to do it quickly, but that's how you do it. And that's actually a good way to explain it. So thank you for having me do that.
Thank you.
Yeah. And again, I get accused in my office all the time of having run-on sentences, and there's a nice one. They're always correcting my writing. Dale, you got good ideas, but you got to help us write it. We got to help you write it sometimes. So anyway, okay. That's the end of that section. So you guys are ready to do your first campaign. So let's go to Campaign Builder. And from here, if you're not in your system, now is the time to put yourself in the system. My coaching for anybody who has not set up a campaign yet, and this is your first time, you want to practice on yourself. So Kate, if you haven't done anything yet, this is your time to do another campaign for yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. And I mean this, like my goal by the end of this webinar is to have everyone on this call, if you can, do a successful campaign to yourself so that you see what the system's going to send your customer. And are you happy with it? If you're not happy with it, then you can go edit the messaging. Like that's the whole idea, is to send something, and when you leave the call today, you're off and running. Okay, because it's like the system can do that. It's designed to help you, and we want you to use in the system because we know it's producing results for agents using it now. Okay, so if you haven't put yourself in, then add new contact. And in here, this is a live box, or a live selection box. So my calendar kind of hides behind this drop down. So I just hop down, pick a date, and then I just go back in and pick the right date. Past client, I use self-referral a lot just because it works for me. And then Dale Salfer, I'm in here quite a bit, so I'm going to do AS Dale, no, AR Dale. Okay, so AR Dale, R Dale, Stauffer. And then my Gmail, I'm going to do GPQ Dale plus 46 or 45 at gmail.com. And then my mobile phone, 480-645. And then your home address, put in your home address. And complete that. Now, if you have a spouse, or you have a different email address, and you want to test your spouse, I want to show you guys a new feature that we've just released. We released it last week. So put your spouse or domestic partners, I don't care, make up a name, and then put in a second email address for yourself. And try not to use the one that's associated with your website. So if you have one with your brokerage and you have one that's a personal Gmail account, try to make sure that these two email addresses are not associated with the website, because you'll get a funky result. You can get funky results emailing yourself from your website. The mail spam filters often will pick up on that and say, hey, this is spam. So I'm going to put in Diane Stauffer and GPQ Dale plus 57 at gmail.com. And I want my spouse to get the same campaign that I'm getting. So we both want to get the same campaign. That's why we're setting this up. Or a domestic partner, or an investor in a property. It could be two investors, co-investors in an investment property. So save and close. And there I am. So I'm setting up a homeowner campaign. So right away I'm going listing status, active, closed, pending, days back closed, 90. Now, I've had people ask me, what does days back closed mean? And this is just, I'm going back 90 days from today. And I'm doing a look back period of 90 days, and I'm going to pick up any closed listings in 90 days. Now, when this email goes out in a month from now, it'll go back 90 days from a month from now. So it's always correcting for 90 days, no matter when it's sent out. So it's always going back 90 days from when your customer views it, okay?
Can I just ask you, how did you do the 90 days? It's weird. It says days back closed. Type in 90.
You put 90 in here,
Okay.
and then you hit add.
Okay.
And Dale, can you hear me, Dale?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, one thing I'm from the San Diego market, and I don't know your guys' MLS, but I was trying to set up a client like you're teaching the Zillow search and past home sales in his neighborhood. And my main MLS wouldn't allow it. And I called them and she said, oh yeah, sorry, you can only send clients active listings now. And so I just wanted to tell everyone for my market, I'm so glad I have this website because, after I sell a home, like we're discussing, I'll go 90 days back or whatever, just so the client can keep up with it. And I see for whatever reason, my MLS now won't allow us to do that. So I think they probably, Dale, don't want you to set up like evergreen searches and blogs or something. I don't know why they only allow me to send active listings on a reoccurring basis. So I don't know if that makes sense, but it was kind of a big aha because I usually do that. And the MLS kept saying error. So I finally called them and she said, I know, I'm so sorry. We don't allow that anymore.
Wow. Huh. That's news to me.
So I don't know if you can read anything into that or why. She didn't give me a reason. So.
I don't. It's a little surprising that San Diego's like that because NAR is all about this, disclosure. By the way, everybody, we'll take a pause just to, anybody have questions about coming soon listings?
I hate them.
Anyone? You hate them?
Yeah.
I hate them.
Yeah, well, we're not at the moment allowed to display them on websites. So we're not doing any coming soon listings. And if you think about the reason, and coming soon basically is something you can privately advertise in an email and within your brokerage. But as soon as you make that publicly available, you're supposed to, or you publicly market it, you're supposed to take it live within 24 hours or something like that. So the MLS at this point, Armless at this point, I just checked with them yesterday, Friday, about being able to display coming soon. And they said, we're not allowed to because of that rule of as soon as you take a coming soon public, you got to make it a live listing anyway. So at the moment, we're not allowed to put them on websites. Now you could blog something, but you're kind of dancing a fine line of, well, are you now publicly marketing it? So I think it's a good question for your broker, ask them. So I'm going to tell you, don't do it unless you talk to your broker. And we're not going to be putting them on IDX stuff. So anyway, so I put in listing status, days back close 90. And if I scroll down underneath the map, I can see under selected criteria, listing status, active, closed, pending, days back closed 90. Now I need my home. So I need to go to my neighborhood. So this is my particular home. So, and you guys all know how to get to your own home in the maps. So move your map, zoom in, because we're going to draw a polygon, or you guys can do a subdivision search. I'm going to do a polygon for mine. So I live at the corner of Ray and Priest, and I zoom in. Down here in the bottom of the map is this hand and a draw shape tool. That's the polygon tool. So you click it till it turns dark, and then you just put your mouse where you want to start your polygon, and you move your click, move your mouse, click, move your mouse, and boom, polygon's drawn. Okay. Now, the way you want to think about polygons, and the whole point of this process we're talking about is we're going to be sending this summary of all active sold pendings in this polygon, plus any new listing and any sold listing instantly as they come on and go off the market. So if you think about that, I don't want to send a huge geographic area. I really want to get this narrowed down to ingress, egress routes to somebody's house. Best you can. It can take a little refinement, And you may be sitting over there listening to me going, geez, Dale, I don't want to have to read maps that much. And trust me, as you do this a few times, you'll get good at it. And it won't take you long to decide how to put a polygon together. If you already have it nailed, that's cool. But there's 3 ways in: this way, this way, this way, into this part of the neighborhood. And I want to cover all the ingress egress routes. Now, you could think maybe this is too big, and it might be too big, but for the purposes of my demo, I'm going to keep it here. So, and why you keep it smaller is I have no idea. Right here above my hand is Caroline Lane. If I got a new listing from an agent saying, hey, there's a new listing near you on Caroline Lane, I'd be like, where's that? And if I got too many of the where's that's, I'm unsubscribing. And then that agent just lost contact with me, because I'm not gonna put up with getting too many listings for too long, especially if they're not relevant to me as a homeowner. So that's the thing you do want to be cognizant of that. Okay. So any questions about that?
Hey, Dale, can
Yes.
you change the shape of that if you wanted to include Caroline Lane?
Yeah, I can go. So before I move on from here, what I can do is go, oh, I just click and drag.
Oh, okay.
I can do that. I can actually change the color. I want to make this, well, it's already blue. I want to make it green, or I want to make it purple. Now the consumer doesn't see this. They're not necessarily seeing the polygon when they get it. They're just getting the sort of the geographic area. Okay. But for me, our polygon tool, it's very easy to change things once you use it. Hopefully that answered your question.
Thank
Okay.
you.
And I have another comment, Dale. Like with Redfin and Zillow buyers, I think they go by zip codes and things. So when I do what you just showed, if you guys know how to do a screenshot, I'll take a screenshot of the area and I'll email them and say, hey, I set up a search for this area. And I don't use Zillow or Redfin, so I'm not sure if they allow a client to get that detailed with a map snapping around an area, but I kind of use it as a back end selling thing about how precise I can show them data, or if they want me to make changes.
Yes.
If that statement makes sense. So
I often, if I'm doing a blog post, I'll capture a map like that, Jason. So good point. I'll just grab a quick map like that and use that as a photo in my blog post. So that, I cheat sometimes. Okay. So now there's my polygon, days back 90 days, active sold pending, and view search results. So in my neighborhood, there's 2 houses for sale and 2 that are sold. So let's just, so you guys believe me that our stuff's tracking correctly, I'm going to get rid of days back 90 and I'm going to go to 180. So 6 months, come back and view search results. And now I got 10 properties. So I'm going back further. Okay. So that's how that works. I'm going to leave it here because I want to show you where I account for this later on. So I'm happy with this. Often what I do if I'm doing a search for somebody, I'll click into one of these houses and I'll open this up in a new link in a new tab.
Hey, Dale.
Yes.
I pushed the back button, and so I went back to Campaign Builder and lost what I was looking at, my own contacts. So where do I find that?
You wouldn't necessarily, so just start typing in your contact name again. And your name should pop up.
No dice.
Okay.
It's okay. I'll redo it.
We can talk about that after. Yeah, that's actually one of the tricks to our system is you always want to, if you're going to look at listings, open them up in a new tab, because if you do change off of this or you refresh or you hit your back button, you will lose the session. So we haven't built a good solution for that yet.
Okay. Yeah, I was
Now,
also trying to see where I could find the contacts.
well, your contacts are in Lead Manager contacts right there.
Okay.
However, since we're here, I'll just do it. So I'm going to refresh. So my name's gone, my search is gone. I just said an explicit word or an inflammatory word. And so I just start typing in my name. And there I am. You may have to give it a second for and my computer's running really slow because of me doing the webinar, but my name was saved and I was able to pull it back in. Somebody had a note about the map is blurry. That's probably because of your internet connection speed. Because my map's not blurry. And most people, I haven't really heard of people complaining about blurry maps. So, but I'm gonna quickly rebuild this. And I'm gonna go back to days back 180, and this case, I'm gonna use Sierra Tempe because you guys already saw me draw the map. And Sierra Tempe, days back, and then I hit view search results. And for the same polygon, I got 10 listings for the subdivision search that I did. So those are tracking. All right, next, what I'm gonna, partly what I do when I go look at a listing is if I wanna get their subdivision name, and I'll show you that now why. So campaign title, I always put some version of Sierra Tempe, Vera Lane, monthly neighborhood update. Now, this is not a naming convention for you. This is something that's visible to your customer, your contact. So make this a readable message. Sierra Tempe, that's a subdivision, that's my street, and this is a monthly neighborhood update. Next, I want to schedule, next, what I can do is if this is in a market area that you want your website to get found for, or if it's a farming area, or you want to be an expert, you may want to blog this particular search on your website. And that's where what we're saying here is create blog posts with search criteria. So if I click this, it opens up another little section. I put in my blog post title, homes for sale in Sierra Tempe, AZ, homes sold, 2. All right, I'm just making it up. So for now, that's all I'm going to put. I'll just show this as a blog post so you guys can see it. Homes for sale and recently sold. Past 6 months. In Sierra Tempe, period. Oops. Okay, that's my blog post. So from here, I'm just going to do a real quick blog post. I'm not putting in a featured image. Actually, I will just so you guys can see what it looks like. And there, we'll just use that. Sierra Tempe. And I insert. So there's my featured image. And then I come down here. I now want to schedule my monthly recurring campaign. So recurring, how often? Once a month. Send now. I don't need a start date or an end date. This is new if you haven't been in our class in a little while. So send an instant update when new listings become available and an existing listing become closed, or existing listings become closed, okay? So this will send 2 different updates instantly. So they don't have to go to Zillow to find them. They're gonna go to Zillow if you don't send it to them. That's the point of today's training. Okay, I don't have to change the default header, signature, footer because they're all branded to me. Campaign type is called a market update. Very important market update, not marketing, market update. Okay, that's what we're sending them. And then notice here, I have an opportunity to send this campaign to the spouse. Unfortunately, this also means domestic partner or investor. So don't let this confuse you. If you have somebody else in that second section, or you have other emails in there, all of these will be available. So I could just check it. There it is. I'm going to check the second one because I want to send this email to my spouse or to the spouse from me. That's me, from my name, from my email to their email addresses. And then I want to select that market update homeowner that you guys just edited. So I want to select that. And you notice it preloads in all of your content. Okay, from here, I always put in, here is your Sierra, Tempe, Vera Lane. Now, why do I put all that in there? Because I want to get past their instant delete filter. We all have instant delete filters. Why do we delete them? Because it's junk. Well, this is their name, Sierra Tempe, their street, and it's coming from me, their realtor who they know. So the chances are I'm not going to get deleted or unsubscribed from. They're at least going to check it out the first time. So here I told them, I'm up above, I'm doing 180 days. So I just changed this to 180. Now this is just to that person. This isn't, my template still says 90, but for this person, because I'm going back 180 days from above, I just leave it like that. And boom, I hit save campaign. So if I'm not talking to you guys, and I'm doing this on the fly, and I'm sitting down and I've learned what I need to know, I can do these campaigns in 3-4 minutes, tops. They're very quick. The whole point is you're not building complicated campaigns for homeowners. You're sending, here's everything on the market around your house. And I'm sending you any new listing, new closed listing around your house. So that they don't have to go to Zillow for anything when they see that listing sign. And I'm touching base with them. I'm sending them I'm sending them the information that they go to Zillow for in general. Now there may be some, I can't cover 100%, but I can cover a lot of it. And I'm definitely covering that spontaneous random listing sign going in the street, going in the yard down the road from their house. Okay, notice everyone, I have the 2 emails. There's my Ardale, here's your Sierra Tempe. And then here's to my spouse, Diane, here's your Sierra Tempe. So if I come in here and click this, watch what happens. So I click this takes me to my website. Now watch what happens to my email. My website just told me that I visited my website. So this is now a notice I'm getting when my contacts at my website. So all I have to do is respond with an email, a call, or a text. Hey Dale, it's Dale. Just thinking about you, how's it going? And if I have any type of real estate conversation going on in my head, there's a good chance that I'm going to talk to my realtor about it in the moment. Or I'm going to set up a time to talk to them. Hey, I'm busy right now, but can we talk tomorrow? Because my husband just got a job transfer and we got to move. Can you help me out? Or my brother wants to live across the street. Or my sister, my sister's looking to move to Arizona and she needs help. Can you help her? Whatever it is, okay? Or I'm just curious, thanks for sending me something, and that's it.